talking about windows, looking at a lot of designs that I did initially, small windows makes the space look smaller. Living in a tiny house, being outside is the name of the game. I think that, yeah, this is where I live. Out there is where I play. I want the outside to feel part of the inside. And these larger windows provide that. I've yet to have anybody say I want smaller windows in my tiny mountain house. I mean, I think that it's an important feature. I think it really adds to that whole openness and bringing outside in of your tiny house. From a design aspect of it, it needs to make sense. They need to be in strategic locations depending on how you're going to place your tiny house. If you've got a view, if you're on the ocean, if you're looking at the mountains. I mean, think about the orientation if you have that ability, in the design process. A lot of times, the orientation of your front door, back door needs to be considered because of where your hitch is in order to put my tiny house into the space that I'm thinking about going into. So you got to think about all those components before you start making decisions of, I'm going to build it. But windows really are a huge part of the design for at least me when I do design or work with somebody in their design is, hey guys, let's think about this. Let's look at it. Make it make sense. Do you want a really wide window and tall? Do you just want a tall, skinny window? I mean, you look at some of the windows that I've used, and there's a variety of sizes here. And then you got to think about the cost feature of it too, because a lot of these windows get pretty expensive the bigger they get. These are residential windows. They've got a low E glazing. They call it smart glass that essentially allows the warmth of the sun to come in the wintertime and deflects it in the summertime to keep that cold and heat factor working for you in your tiny house. They're also argon gas filled, at least the ones we use are, to add to the insulating factor of them. These are vinyl windows, so they don't sweat. Once again, adding to the insulating properties and keeping your house warm or cool, depending on the time of year. So, there's a lot of pieces and parts there that can really make or break your tiny house. Sometimes, we add window blinds. We add window treatments, whether it's cellular blinds, roll-up treatments to go on your windows, to add privacy. A lot of people don't care about the privacy because they're going to be living in a place where they don't have neighbors. But in some cases, you might have to. So consider that, because you get into the whole window treatment factor here, they can get pretty expensive. So just think it all the way through.